subtle Sunday, all right? So happy July 4th, happy Freedom Day. It's absolutely perfect that today's power is power, because we're going to talk about the power, using our power for good to create freedom, not just for this country, but for the entire world. It's going to be an awesome Sunday. I'm so glad that you're in the room. Welcome. And welcome everybody out in Facebook and YouTube land. We're absolutely delighted that you've joined us this morning. And I think, you know, the energy in the room right now is a little bit like a party. I think that we're picnicking in our minds, and a conga line may break out at any point. So we are going to go with the flow today. We're going to enjoy one another. We're going to enjoy the message, and we're just going to enjoy being together. So let's take that energy of joy, of being in joy, into our opening prayers. Everybody just take a nice big deep breath. I invite you, wherever you are, as we start every service, to become fully present. And we begin our time together in that way so that we don't miss anything being offered to us this morning, so that we don't miss any music or laughter or wisdom or joy. With every breath, we become more and more present and aware of the gifts being offered within this community and outside of these walls. And so we take one more big, deep breath, and as we exhale this breath, we are here now. We are fully in our skin and in our power. And as always, we begin our time together with gratitude as we say thank you for this time. Thank you for whatever space you are in this morning, and most especially, thank you for one another. And so it is. Amen. So we chose an opening song this morning by Karen Drucker that I personally love, called I've Got the Power. And then the music team kind of told me, this is really not easy to sing along to, Steph. So anyway, stand up and we're going to do our best. And if you feel like dancing in the aisles, feel free.
And the chorus is easy.
The chorus is easy. So
the beginning and ending are easy.
yes, so Janie will lead us and we will follow.
I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. Here we go. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there is nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. Yeah, I've got the power inside of me. Every day I'm wasting my time thinking someone else gonna do it all for me. I've got to get up, get out, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear-cut intention. Declare what it will be, and then watch it come to me. 'Cause I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. Nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me. There are days when I feel that I'm just no good. There are days when I don't even want to try. But when I stop, look, listen, and surrender, I hear a voice of truth I can't deny. It says, you know you can do it, so just get get down to it. Have faith in yourself and the will to see it through. 'Cause I've got the power to be anything come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. Last one. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. Woo! Did I cut a short one?
That's okay. We got the power. Do you feel the power?
We got the power.
Okay. Let's share together in our vision. With power, centered in love, we embrace a positive path
for spiritual living.
And our mission, wherever we are, we provide a welcoming community that inspires and encourages all who gather here through the teaching, sharing, and practice of universal spiritual principles. So, time for some hugs and handshakes. Remember, this means I want a handshake. This means I'm good for a hug. And if you just stay right where you are, we promise we will leave you alone and absolutely respect that. All right, go forth.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Are you here? In the room? Have a seat. All right, so our prayer chaplains this morning are Sherry Fries and Linda Longenecker, and they will be over on this side of the sanctuary after the service. If any of you would like one-on-one prayer, they'll be happy to support you in that way. The social activism team meeting is next Sunday at 12:30. It's going to be in person, and are you going to Zoom in anybody who can't make it? So it'll be both. So we are entering into the age of hybrid. We are now hybrid, all right? So 12:30, if you have any questions about that, you can talk to Sherry after the service. Let's see, who do I bring up first? Let me bring up Linda Raber first. This is your reminder of the yard sale that is going to be on July 16th and 17th. And one thing I am going to ask you for is next Sunday after the service, there's a lot of stuff, believe it or not, if you haven't been downstairs lately, there's a lot of stuff downstairs that the yard sale team wants to have upstairs for the yard sale. So next Sunday the 11th, if you are in service, if you could just take 5 or 10 minutes after the service, this is one of those many hands make light work situations. If we all just go downstairs and everybody brings up 1 or 2 loads and do whatever the yard sale Queen Linda the First, whatever she asks us to do, if we all just take 10 minutes, it'll really make the yard sale team's job easier next week. You're up, Queen Linda the First. You're welcome. Yes.
We still could use some volunteers especially that first morning on that morning on Saturday the 17th, we still need just one or two people to sign up early to help take some things outside. We are putting some of the bigger items like the furniture that you might see in the Rose Room now. We're going to be taking those things outside to eliminate or alleviate some of the crowding over in the Rose Room. So just one or two, and that's all it's going to be, to take some things outside, and we'll sell from there.
And there will be coffee.
There will be coffee, yes, and baked goods, yes. Oh, yeah, I wasn't going to say that. Well,
This is a bait and switch. You're going to sign up, and then she's going to tell you how early.
Exactly. Well, probably 6:30 would be early enough. And, the sun's up, so
Coffee,
that
coffee,
might not
coffee,
be too bad.
Coffee.
We also, now that we just decided that we're going to be selling food items, and when I say selling, we are not going to be actually pricing the food items. We are going to have them by donation only. And we're going to have hot dogs and sloppy joes, baked goods. But the reason I'm asking for your help is we need people to make baked goods and just have them wrapped individually. Obviously, you don't have to price anything because we're just going to have them available downstairs. So we really need some baked goods. I don't even think they have to be wonderfully baked. Just put them in a container, and we'll have a disclaimer.
Linda,
But-
our motto is anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Okay.
That's true. So
Yes.
lots of baked goods. Lots of baked goods. And fortunately, we have already donated, we have donations for the hot dogs and the burger, so we need some rolls. So if we can have, and we're going to have a sign-up sheet over in the Rose Room next to the other volunteer sheet. So that's one thing. I think that's actually it. And Stephanie mentioned about next Sunday. That would be so helpful, bringing some things up. So thank you very much. And for the donations you people have provided, it's been overwhelming, but in a great way. In a really
I got
good
wind that
way.
there might be some little Tykes items coming too this week.
Oh, there might be.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, so-
We'll look for that.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
You want to hand that over to Bridget? Bridget's going to come up for a... Apparently, we've reopened kind of with a bang here, you guys. So we have the yard sale, and we have Source of Light.
Good morning. So this year we're having our Source of Light event again, and we're looking for some volunteers to help sign up. So it's August 6th and 7th, and Friday night is Doug McDonald will be doing a gallery reading, and then Saturday will be energy workers and readers will be here, and people can sign up. And I think that within the next week you'll be able to sign up on the website. So, but we do need a few people to help us that weekend, and it's a fun thing to volunteer for. So, okay.
So just to kind of hostess and help people and escort people.
Yeah,
and support
just
the vendors.
just people standing at the door, and then we're going to have some people just hanging out where the vendors are in case they need anything or they need to take a break or whatever. So,
Great.
That's things like that. Yeah.
Yay. And we do have tickets, Doug's tickets are for sale
That's-
after
yeah,
the
we're going to
service
sell
today.
tickets for the gallery reading today and every Sunday until then. And also, Saturday's, free to come and walk around and see what's happening. And you can actually, and Friday, yeah, you're right, Gwen. Friday and Saturday, you can pop in and see what's happening, who's here, and if you're interested, you can sign up early, which I suggest you do because a lot of people go really fast. A lot of people get signed up quickly, but you can wait till that weekend and just see who's available and sign up then. Okay? Thank you.
Thanks. All right, you ready, Miss Vicki?
Sure. Good morning. I'm not trying to get any volunteers. I'm just curious.
There's so many opportunities to serve right now.
And that's why we live in a free country, and it's daily word today is freedom. So
Nice segue.
Okay. In thought, word, and action, I celebrate my freedom. There are many ways to feel free. I may work hard to become financially free. I may plan trips so I can freely explore the world. I may commit to learning for intellectual freedom or exercise my body for greater freedom of movement. Even as I do my work in the world to know freedom, I remember that I am always free at the level of spirit. No situation or circumstance has power over me. Every day and in every area of my life, I live from my divine nature, where I am wholly and completely free. Through my inner powers of understanding and faith, I recognize and embrace empowering beliefs. My spiritual gifts of strength and release keep me on course and help me free myself from habits that derail my spiritual growth. Through God within, I am grateful to be free. And from Galatians 5:1, for freedom Christ has set us free.
I am home, my family is here. I feel loved by the ones I hold so dear. And when my family needs me, I promise to be there. And when I need my family, I'm lifted up in prayer.
So last week, I posted a link to a TED Talk by Valerie Carr on our Unity of Palmyra Facebook page. And I want to really encourage you to watch that. It's 20 minutes, and it is 20 minutes that is well worth your time, because she talks about what she calls revolutionary love. And that's such a perfect fit for today's power of power, because ultimately, the best use of our power is to choose to love in a revolutionary way. To choose to love ourselves, to love those that we believe to be against us, to love the other, but to use our power for love. So let's take that into prayer this morning. So take a nice big deep breath. And if you can put your feet on the floor, let's do that. Let's ground ourselves this morning in that power that comes from being fully present to who we are, fully present to who those around us are, fully present to the promise of who we are as a nation. Fully present to our intention to live into that promise of freedom for all. And that freedom is truly based on revolutionary love. For revolutionary love sees no other. In the words of the Sikh tradition, revolutionary love sees no stranger. When we can embrace that powerful love, then we will have freedom for all. Because we realize at that point that wanting freedom for ourselves is wanting freedom for the other, for we are one. And so we hold those two concepts of freedom and revolutionary love, and we recognize that they are inexorably entwined. we cannot wish for one without wishing for the other. And so that is our intention this morning on this day where we celebrate freedom. That it not just be freedom for ourselves, freedom for those that we decide are like us, but freedom from separation, freedom from otherism, freedom from the need to make anyone less than, freedom to love in a revolutionary and powerful way. See no stranger. The divine in me beholds the divine in you. Namaste.
The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. You are beautiful. You are whole. You are beautiful. You are whole. Maybe we can never house the homeless, rid the streets of violence and crime, make the world a safe place for our children. Or we can try. Maybe we can never feed the hungry, chase every warplane from the sky, do away with ignorance and hatred, but we can try. Well, sometimes I feel so helpless, 'cause all that I do is my best. But even the longest journey begins with a single step. Maybe we can't always find forgiveness, or give our wildest dreams the wings to fly. Maybe we won't always love our neighbors, but we can try. Well, sometimes I feel so helpless, 'cause all I can do is my best. But even the longest journey begins with a single step. Maybe we can't always find forgiveness, or give our wildest dreams the wings to fly. Maybe we won't always love our neighbors, but we can try. We can try, we can try. We can try, we can try. can try, we can try. We can try, we can try. We can try, we can try.
One of my very favorite Daniel Nahmod songs because it speaks to how overwhelming our work can feel in the world, doesn't it? Like, we want peace, and we want everyone to have a roof over their head, and we want no one to go hungry, and we want everyone to feel loved and accepted exactly the way they are. And then we look at the world and we go, ugh, this just feels overwhelming. And yet Daniel's song reminds us that all we have to do is try and use our power, how's that, in service to that trying. So this morning is the power of power for our 12 Powers series. Power is our ability to convert an idea into the words we speak, the actions we take, and the things we build. So we use our power for good, as Dawn's going to talk about in a little bit. I love Dawn's definition of power, but I'll let her share that with you. So Philip is the disciple that represents power, and the color for power is purple. And no, I'm not wearing purple because this is the only day of the year I can wear this dress. So you see me in purple all the time, but you're getting this today. So power is our doing ability. So we use our powers of wisdom and love to make good decisions and to make wise choices, and then power puts those choices into action. You're also going to hear me talk about that when we get to the power of will, because will is another one of those powers that helps us to put our decisions and our choices into action. So Werner Erhard said, "It is important that you get clear for yourself that your only access to impacting life is action. The world does not care what you intend, how committed you are, how you feel, or what you think, and certainly it has no interest in what you want and don't want. Take a look at life as it is lived and see for yourself that the world only moves for you when you act." So this is Unity's fifth principle. It is not enough to hold these beliefs and these principles. We must act upon what we believe. We must live the truth that we know. So how do we do this? Well, we claim our power. And to live within our power is to live authentically, to stand in the light, as we're going to hear from Becky at the end of the service. It's about being self-actualized and to use our power consciously and for good. So in my 12 Powers Reel-to-Reel service, the movie for power is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And I used, and I'm a total Potterhead, so I'll try to keep this short because I could do a whole hour on Harry Potter and power, but I won't. So one of the first times that we see the importance of claiming our power or recognizing that we have power, remember when Hagrid went to get Harry? Remember when Hagrid went to get Harry and he said, "You're a wizard," and Harry was like, "I'm not a wizard, I'm just Harry." And he said, "You've made a mistake, I'm just Harry." And Hagrid was aghast, and he said, "It's such a scandal that Harry Potter doesn't know who he is. That Harry Potter doesn't know how powerful he is." But Harry Potter was raised by muggles. Muggles are those who don't understand magic, don't understand the power that they had. And so we see right at the beginning of the movie the importance of Harry claiming his power. In a way, we're all Harry Potter, aren't we? Being raised in the world of muggles and not knowing how powerful we are when we're willing to claim our authentic selves, to claim that power. From the book, The 12 Powers, this is Charles Fillmore, it follows that every kind of human industry must be carried forward by a power that recognizes the divine law. Mankind is the power of God in action. That would be us. To us is given the highest power in the universe, the conscious power of thought. There is a universal creative force that urges us forward to a recognition of the creative power of our individual thought. This force is elemental, and all its attributes come under our dominion. When we cooperate with divine principle, we sit on the throne of our authority, and the elemental force is subject to us. Don't you love that? The eloquence of that. It sounds pretty heady, doesn't it? We sit on the throne of our authority. It sounds heady until you realize that with that level of power comes a commensurate level of responsibility. I could also use Star Wars to talk about power, right? I know, I'm not going there, Gwen, I promise. But okay, just for a second. I just have to go there for a second. Okay, so look at the difference in how people in Star Wars and people in Harry Potter and all of the heroes' journeys, thank you God for Joseph Campbell, they all had such incredible power, and yet look at the different ways in which they used their power. Right? We have Luke Skywalker and we have Anakin Skywalker. Very different ways. We have Harry Potter and we have Voldemort. He who shall not be named until he was. Right? Very different uses of our power. And then we get to Jesus. Jesus, so much power. And yet how did he use his power? Did he try to overthrow a government? Or did he speak to the hearts and minds of people and call upon them to recognize how powerful they are? You will do greater things than I do. So I think it's really interesting that we're talking about the power of power on July 4th, because a great example, you know, it's really, let me just digress for just a second, because I'm going to talk about George Washington, who for all of his flaws is actually one of my heroes, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I think it is phenomenal that we are learning more and more of our actual history, right? Amen? We are learning how whitewashed the history I'm saying we, because I'm assuming you're all 60 or older, right? Okay. That we learned in school. Right? I saw a meme the other day that said if you just love learning about your history and you just learning about your history just reinforces how great you are, you're probably not really learning about history. Because there are parts of our history that are not great. You know, we look at our founding fathers who I was raised to revere, and then I learned, you know, about 20 years ago how many of our founding fathers were slave owners. Liberty and justice for all meant for liberty and justice for white men, right? So I just want to put that out there, because I know there are some people who are not real happy with George Washington right now, and I totally get that. But what I want to acknowledge us to look at is these men were also human beings. They were fallible human beings who did some really awful things and who did some really incredible things, just like the rest of us. So I want to share an incredible thing that George Washington did today. And I wanted to preface it by saying, no, he was not perfect. No, in some ways, things he did were awful, just as some things we all do are awful. But I want to talk about a really good thing that he did today. And it had to do with recognizing how easy it is to abuse power. So at the end of the Revolutionary War, George Washington pretty much just wanted to go back to his farm. He was done. He did not want to do anymore. But the people had other ideas for George Washington. There's a story, and I always like to preface it by saying there was a story, because who knows if it was a true story or not. However, it's an interesting story, and I hope it is true, that in 1783, King George III asked what Washington would do next, and was told of rumors that he was just going to return to his farm. And the story goes that the king said at that point, if he does that, he will be the greatest man in the world. What King George was observing is that George Washington following their victory over England, was probably one of the most powerful men in the world at that point. And he was willing to give it all up. He was willing to go back to his farm. But our new country had other plans, and in 1789, George Washington was elected as our first president. Now, I slipped into King George because some of them wanted to call him that. They wanted the title of president to be king or emperor. And again, George Washington said no. In his wisdom, he recognized that this would defeat their hard-won victory. He recognized that they would simply be repeating history. And so he said, no, I just want to be Mr. President. And during his tenure as president, he deliberately steered away from all of the pomp and the circumstance and the crown and the thrones and all of that. He said, no, I am a man of the people. He also, after serving a second term, they wanted him to serve another term, and again, he said, no, this is not a monarchy. I am not president for life. That's what we just fought against. So for all of his flaws, he had a keen sense of what he didn't want our country to turn into, which was a repeat of what we had fought against. He used his power in that regard very wisely and was willing to go back to his farm and to pass on the mantle of leadership. So back to Harry Potter for a second. One of the other reasons I love Harry Potter is I love the relationship between Dumbledore and Harry. There came a time, this was actually, I think, in Chamber of Secrets, so sorry, I'm going to mix my movies up here, but I think it was in Chamber of Secrets, where Harry started to realize that, and I'm assuming you've all read this and these are not spoilers, that he had inherited, for lack of a better word, some of Voldemort's powers. When Voldemort killed Harry's parents and tried to kill Harry, and his mother's love spell protected him, he inherited some of Voldemort's powers, and it kind of freaked Harry out. Because Harry was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be like Voldemort. Voldemort uses his power for evil. I don't want to be like him. And then there was such a sweet exchange between Dumbledore and Harry, where Dumbledore said, Harry, you're right, you did get some of Voldemort's powers. And then, of course, when you read the Deathly Hallows, you realized Harry was actually a Horcrux, but that's a whole other sermon. Don't get me started on Harry Potter, people. It was brilliant. Anyway, Dumbledore says, Harry, it is not your abilities that make you who you are. It is your choices. And I think that is such a beautiful description of the choices we have in how we exert our power, how we demonstrate our power, in using our power for good, in using our power authentically. I heard a piece the other day by a singer, and she was encouraging everyone to sing. She said, it doesn't matter what you sound like, just sing. She said, because nobody else has your voice. That's what Dumbledore was saying to Harry. Nobody else is you, Harry. Nobody else is us. When we claim our power and when we use our power for good, we're saying, this is how I use my power. How are you going to use your power? Are you going to use your power for good? What choices are you going to make in using your power? So I'm going to bring up Miss Dawn, because she has some phenomenal stories about how she's used her power. Come on up, Miss Dawn. So just for complete disclaimer, I've known Dawn for years. Dawn is actually a family friend, and we were in a bunco club together for years. We won't go into that. What happened at bunco stays at bunco. So when Dawn started coming to church, I was just so delighted, because you know how sometimes when your worlds collide and it's a happy thing, right? And then as she served as our youth ed director for almost a year and a half, it was just absolutely wonderful. So So when I reached out to Dawn and said, here's what I'd like to talk about, it was because I know some of Dawn's history. And so I reached out to her and I said, you know, I would really like to talk to you about your stroke and how you recovered from your stroke and how you used your power to do that. And she wrote back and she said, yeah, I'd really like to talk about that, but it's really not going to be what you think. And I said, okay, so go for it. No, I love that about you. Dawn demonstrates her power authentically. I love that. So learning to. So talk about, because it was, oh, is it not on? Here, let me do it. Because you know why? I got the power. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right. And hold it close so they can.
Okay.
There you go. Good job.
All right. So where were we? Okay. So yes, for those of you who do not know, I guess it's 11 years now, a week after Roxy was born, I had a stroke. Had already been home and went through a lot of other things in that week that just sent, you know, blood pressure and whatever else through the roof, and that was, you know, the big change. In that, so I lost a complete week. I have no idea. All I know is what I've read and whatever people have told me through that week. So it was Wednesday when it started. Long story short, took till Friday till I got actually admitted to the hospital. So I believe I was in process of having the stroke, somewhere in there that they weren't catching it. So Friday admitted. The Wednesday was when I actually forget. Anything past Wednesday was just what people have told me. It wasn't until the following Thursday I'm standing at a sink, at a walker, brushing my teeth with two nurses who said, Dawn, you are doing a great job brushing your teeth today. I am so proud of you. I looked out of the room at Brent and I'm like, what the hell are these people talking about? I had a headache. Where am I? Welcome back, was my response. And from that point on, it was, I just had to make up my mind, and it was only 2 days after that that I ended up in the rehab for a week, sent home for occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, all the therapies, visiting nurse, so on and so forth. But even coming out of there, I knew there was something not quite right. Like, but everybody tells you, you had a stroke, it's in your head. Like, no, I don't think pain is in my head. Pain is pain, and it's not. So till get them to listen, end up back in the hospital with a pulmonary embolism. So go back.
Meanwhile, baby Roxy is at home.
Yeah, baby Roxy's at home with, you know, 2-year-old Race and Nana and Grammy and Grandpa, so that Brent can stay with me. Only after coming home from that did I truly feel like I could heal. Like, okay, now I've gotten this, now let's do it. And that recovery was so fast and miraculous. Even going to the doctors, they're like, you should not even be here. Do you realize that? I'm like, yes, I do. You know, third time's a charm. Be careful now, you know. But I pushed myself and used my powers, everything I knew how. We had gotten the Wii Fit game for Christmas before Roxy was born and before I went into the hospital. And that was so helpful, that like, because it has all of the yoga and exercise and all of those things that I needed right at home. So even with all the other people helping me, as soon as they would leave, I'd get back on the Wii, I'd do my yoga, and I just pushed and pushed and would go to the hospital, go to the doctors. I'm like, all right, so when can I go back to who I was? When can I go back? Can I go back to work? can I drive? Can I do this? Like, that's what I was pushing towards. The what I was before, not the reset that I was given. This great gift, you know, how many times do you say, if I could do this over? I was handed that on a platter. Here you go, you're out. They don't expect you to come back to work. Nobody's expecting you to do anything. And what am I pushing myself for? But to go back and be the person that ended me up there in the first place. So it has taken years.
So that was the part she said, you're not going to expect this part, right? Because the Dawn I knew was the Dawn that, you know, pushed through and got better and everything. And then she said, but Steph, what I realized was I was given this gift and I didn't take it. I thought that to be powerful meant that I had to, like, do it really fast and do it on my own and get back on my feet.
Always been the all or nothing.
Yeah, all or nothing.
All or
and
nothing.
Just to, and always, you know, everywhere you go, you become a leader, right? Everywhere you go, you step into that leadership. And I just thought it was so incredibly self-aware of you to go, yeah, I use my power, but, you know, maybe this was, maybe the universe was trying to give me a wake-up call, and I didn't pay attention. Yeah, very self-aware.
Takes a while till you know, we're all a work in progress. We're all learning until, you know, forever. And that was one of the big things I liked. One of the things I had highlighted in my book from class on the powers, in that first little blurb of a quote before you even get into the power part, it has that power is not an end. It's not a goal. It is a means to everything else. You know, and I was using it as a goal.
Right. I'm going to
Not
claim my
as
power
me.
instead
Right,
of, yeah.
right. Instead
yeah.
of, let's use this power and see where it can take me from here, not how quickly can I get back to where I was.
So you have to tell them how you define power.
So short version is just harnessing your force. Harnessing the force.
I capitalized the F.
We do too in our house.
Yeah.
We capitalize the F, and that's, you know, one of the things I love about here is, you know, everyone embracing however you see it as, you know, be a good person. You know, it's out there, whatever you call it, spirit, God, force, whatever, it's all the same thing. We all have it. We can use it in what way we choose. Are we going to the light side or are we going to the dark side? You know, and most of us sit somewhere in between, you know, depending on the day. But yeah, using that as a process and always having that in the back of my head. And it wasn't until, like, did you ever hear when people have a stroke, or if you know someone who has had a stroke, I was told that a lot of people have hallucinations while they're in La La Land. Who knows where you are? I have no idea where I was. And everyone would ask me, well, what did you see? Did you? I'm like, I didn't see anything. I don't remember anything. It wasn't until several years later that I woke up from this vivid, crazy dream. It's like, what in the world is wrong with you? What? I'm like, I think I remember. I think I remember where I was. He's sound asleep. What are you talking about? You know, we're all a bunch of weirdos. And he's like, what is wrong with this woman now? You know, please, God, you know. We went through that, now we're going to go through crazy, you know. So I'm like, I truly think I remembered where I was. And in my mind, it was a building that I passed, you know, every day. But it was not what it is, but it was, you know, that's what it looked like. But inside was a barn, more or less. It was a barn full of sheep and myself. I could see to the outside. The outside just looked like, you know, huge open fields, not the houses that sit around this building that I actually know of in real life. And just crying and having this fit and being so angry at these sheep for just sitting there, And I'm like, we have to get out of here. I don't belong here. I need to get out. Please just someone let me out. And all the sheep are just, it's fine in here. There's no problem. Just sit down and, have a good time. So my father, who had passed when I was 22, came to the gate. He's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you crying? Why are you having this freak out? Like, I don't belong here. You need to let me out. I can't let you out. Why do you need out? They need me. Who needs you? I don't know. Someone needs me. You have to let me out. That's all I remember. So I'm assuming that was when I woke up at the mirror and was like, why are these people talking to me like a 2-year-old about my teeth? So in that, it's, who needs me? And still to this day, I don't think I've met those people. Most people would think, well, duh, that's obviously your children. I think they're probably fine. I know they like having me around, but I don't think they really
What a powerful
need
question.
me.
Yeah.
But whoever they need me is, I don't feel like I've met them yet. So in trying to gain the right power and follow all of our gifts and powers is, if I can't figure out how to work myself right, how am I ever going to be here long enough in the right mind to find whoever these people are?
And so that's led you over the last year to realize that
I need to take care of myself.
you need to take care of yourself. And you have set a powerful example for us in doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last August, I was finally diagnosed with something for how ridiculously crappy I had felt for so long. And when you have those things and you just feel bad all the time, you don't want to say it, because people are like, well, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with you. It's in your head. There's nothing wrong with you, but there's something wrong with you. So it is, having to take that power into your own hands until someone will finally listen and get to the bottom of it. So I have celiac disease, which before I've known several people, but they don't really share other than, I can't eat this. That's all it is to most people who share. By far, in my just year of learning, is that not just what it is. The amount of things that are connected to what you eat and your gut are insane. Someday, maybe when I regrow and heal what was damaged for so many years, I may be able to get off of all of the medications that they had me on for everything else, including the stuff that goes on in my brain. Like all of the anxiety and everything is all coming from that one thing. So now I have that one thing that I can take power over, because there's no medicine you can give for that. It is truly on yourself to heal yourself.
Well, and you took power over your journey because, as many of us have to do in the medical system, to say, I know my body, and something is not right here. Yeah.
It's not in my head. I've been through that. It's not in my head.
Yeah.
This is actually something
So,
wrong.
when you get to the other side of this, that may be who you're here to help.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there, that, potentially. Yeah. So, do you see how powerful this woman is? Yeah. So, thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
I love you. And thank you for your courage in sharing. All right. I'll push it. I got it, because I got the power, baby. Actually, my husband has the power, and Dan has the power. All right, Janie, sing us into meditation.
We can change the world one heart at a time. you, I know you, you're a part of me. My heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love you. You can change the world one heart at a time. You can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. My heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love you. I can change the world one heart at a time. I can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. My heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love you. We can change the world one heart at a time.
So I invite you to take a nice, big, deep breath. And if you can comfortably place your feet on the floor, let's do that. As we continue to ground in our power, with our shoulders back and our head held high. Knowing that who we are in our hearts is powerful beyond measure. And knowing that that power can change the world one heart at a time. One conversation at a time. One question at a time. Seeking first to understand. And understanding that the true power of power is not in controlling others, but in gaining mastery of ourselves, in gaining dominion over our own thoughts and words and actions. That is what makes us powerful. not trying to dominate or control or change others, but becoming the most fully authentic, fully actualized, fully powerful version of ourselves. In learning how to harness the force for good. When we fully claim our power, we have nothing left to prove. We simply show up in the world as a force for good. We show up as the change we wish to be, knowing that that change begins within. So I invite you to take this question into just a moment of silence. How are you willing to use your power this week for good? Remembering that the world doesn't care about what we intend or what we want, but it does see what we do. It does see our revolutionary love in action, changing the world one heart at a time.
My heart is ready to love you. You can change the world one heart at a time. I can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Ah, stretch. Big stretch. This is the power stretch. So this is the time of our service where we enter into a recognition that we always live in that flow of giving and receiving. that money is energy, and that when we engage in that energy of money and that even exchange of energy, how incredibly powerful that feels, knowing that we are contributing to the good that this community is. So there are many ways to give. One of them is not passing the basket anymore. Yes, and there is a lovely love offering basket in the back of the room. If you still enjoy giving via paper, we will accept your paper. And we also love money flying in through the ethers. I think Charles Fillmore would have loved Zelle, seriously. He would have loved that money now flies through the ethers into the coffers of our church. So as always, thank you for your incredible generosity. We are very grateful.
stand in the light and be seen as we are. Didn't I tell you I hear what you say? Never look back as you're walking away. Carry the music, the memories, and keep them inside you. Laugh every day. Don't stop those tears from falling down. This is who I am inside. This is who I am. I'm not gonna hide. 'Cause the greatest risk we'll ever take is by far to stand in the light and be seen as we are. To stand in the light and be seen as we are. With courage and kindness, hold on to your faith. You get what you give, and it's never too late to reach for the branch and climb up, leaving sadness behind you. Fight hard for love. We can never give enough. This is who I am inside. This is who I am. I'm not gonna hide. 'Cause the greatest risk we'll ever take is by far stand in the light and be seen as we are. Stand in the light and be seen as we are. Riding the storms that come raging toward us as we die. Holding our breath as we break through the surface with arms open wide. With arms open wide. This is who I am inside. This is who I am. I'm not gonna hide. 'Cause the greatest risk we'll ever take is by far stand in the light and be seen as we are. Stand in the light and be seen as we are. Cause the greatest risk we'll ever take is by far stand in the light and be seen as we are. To stand in the light and be seen as we are. So stand in the light and be seen as we are.
Wow. Awesome. So how powerful was that? I told them this morning, I'm starting to think of that song as our anthem, right? The greatest risk we will ever take by far is to stand in the light and be seen as we are. That's power. To be willing to just say, this is who we are in all of our magnificent glory and in all of our weirdness. All right, let's stand and share in the unity blessing. Oh, Cassie, I need you up here. Cassie Lee. Cassie's coming up for two reasons today, because this is where we always had the kids up to bless them. Mommy has to come with her, apparently. But check out the shoes, seriously. I know, check out the shoes. Okay, so, blessing. Can you stand up and go like this? No? Okay. All right. Boy, the difference between 5 and almost 6, right? Okay. All right, together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. And it is Birthday Sunday, So I also asked if Cassie would stand up and stand in for all of the July birthdays because she turned 6 on Tuesday. So this is for all of our July birthdays Cassie is representing. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Helene, Owen, Charles, Stephanie, Linda, Vicky, Ben, Hank, and Cassie. Happy birthday to you and many more. Yay! We realized in all the excitement of Cassie's big birthday party yesterday, we forgot to sing her happy birthday. So there we go. Now we've done it. All right. Now let's join together in the peace song. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. So thank you as always to everyone who supported the service, both up front and behind the scenes. And music team, you totally rocked it today. You totally had the power. And Jackie, I love the color-coded slides. Well done. Good job. Have a wonderful week. Happy July 4th. Please party safely. We want to see you again next week. Bye-bye, Facebook land. We love you.